BOMA Idaho presents an update 3 decades in the making. It's about 10 square blocks in the downtown Boise core and about all of you, the developers, planners, and dreamers of the Central Urban Renewal District.
Well, it looked a lot different than it does today. Downtown Boise, I think as we all know, has come a very long way.
Skip Oppenheimer remembers his first project in downtown Boise in 1975, the One Capital Center.
That was the first project in the downtown redevelopment area. I remember being at the groundbreaking, sitting on the podium that was set on Main Street and 9th. It was right on that corner. Looking around, and my brother Doug was there, and my dad, and I remember thinking, God, I hope we know what we're doing, because this was really, at that point, there was nothing else.
10 years later, in 1985, Capital City Development Corporation was established and created the Central District. It started right here with a single tree in the plaza and a master plan.
Essentially, the cornerstone of that was to re-energize a pedestrian-oriented 8th Street with a public grove, where the grove is, as kind of the centerpiece.
When we got to the point of looking at doing the first Interstate Center, now Wells Fargo, I remember Pete O'Neill, who's one of the unsung heroes, I think, of downtown, and Bob Lowry, who was then the executive director, came in one day and said, I have some good news and some bad news. What do you want to hear first? I said, how about the bad news? And they said, well, we and Pete's a close friend of mine, the bad news is you can't start the project on the schedule that we had all been talking about. If we don't start on schedule, I don't know if the project can even go ahead. What's the good news? He said, the good news is we're going to do an overall master plan, and so the project ultimately will be a lot better. And it really did make it a much better downtown. It made it a much better project.
And that was really kind of the start of the rejuvenation of downtown Boise. It was back that far. That's when I saw people reinvesting in downtown spaces.
I think a lot of people felt that it was really important to have a strong, vibrant downtown, because in effect, that was sort of what made a city a city.
The Central District started to take shape, the biggest impact happening in just the last 10 years.
It became evident that CCDC would have a pretty active role in the redevelopment of Bodo, the streetscapes, the need for parking, a parking garage. They rolled up their sleeves and they said, hey, we're going to figure out how to make this work.
CCDC has been critical through the whole process. None of this development could have happened without it, and in that partnership of the public-private partnership.
If it wasn't for CCDC selling the land to the district back in 1987 or 88, so Boise Center could be built, we literally probably wouldn't be here today. And to be part of the growth and part of that excitement, it's been a tremendous ride.
I didn't even know much about hockey, period, but it was a tenant. They wanted us to put it out at the mall, and told me how many people would be potentially coming to a hockey game, a professional hockey game. And I said, no, how about downtown? CCDC did step up and say, hey, if this could work, it'll be a downtown redevelopment project to bring people downtown and bring people downtown at night.
Block 22 with the hotel and the arena, certainly us. Gardner, now with the U.S. Bank and everything else that they've accomplished with the Clearwater building and our meeting rooms in that building, the ballroom building. There was a lot of thought and concern and care that went into the planning of that.
When you look at the streetscapes that have been put in Old Boise along the 8th Street corridor, now moving west past 9th, I mean, these are all incredible improvements that really add to the fabric of our downtown and make it a very special place.
Oh my gosh, I don't think downtown would be what it is today without that reinvestment through the Urban Renewal Act. And when we look around our downtown, the start of the parking garages, the Grove Plaza, the sidewalk improvements, 8th Street, the improvements on the Bass Block, Broad Street. I mean, you can just go down the list of places that have been improved. When you really look at what's happened over the last 30 years by creating a gathering place, the Grove Plaza, 8th Street could be called a gathering place. it's done wonders.
Well, it means a lot to me because it's got my fingerprints on the early part of it, but I must say it blows my mind. I mean, I was at the opening of the new Grove in June, and to just sit there and look up at everything around it, I don't think we had the courage to dream what it would really look like other than something would happen.
Property values in CCDC's Central District have increased from $31.1 million in 1987 to $371.1 million in 2017, an increase of nearly 1,100%, and one of the most massive 30-year value increases for a 10-block area in Idaho history.
Not all of them work perfectly, but my guess is the arithmetic on the Central District is going to be very positive for this community.
The Central District will sunset the end of 2018 and leave a legacy for all who work, live, and play here in the core.
I think we can look back and you get to see a downtown that grew from a high level of vacancy, old buildings in need of rehab, a tax base that was low in the scheme of things. But I mean, just in the building we're in right now, the tax bill was about $12,000 a year back when it was a sand volleyball court. I think today it's about $1.1 million a year in tax revenue. You know, going back to the city, into the schools, into the into the services of the city.
A lot of it I would give credit to the CCDC for helping lead this effort, for helping plan this effort, and for helping support this effort.
People want to come here today. If you're new to town, they come here and go, wow, we've got a great downtown. That's kudos to CCDC.
I have never seen the downtown area more vibrant, more energized, more interesting companies and people than right now. It's very exciting and it's just fun.
As CCDC, sunsets here, they still have plenty of work and opportunity in the other districts that are still around.
CCDC is not planning to go away anytime soon because we still have a substantial amount of real estate associated with the downtown that needs that help.
What I see is that they created the groundwork. I mean, this is the base that everything else can be built on. It's a great gift to hand back to the city and the citizens of this city.